Okay, moving on. We have one important point that I need to make sure that you are very clear on here. It might not be super apparent, but I want to make sure that you are very clear on that the standards that I am teaching and that you are working on, you know where to find them. Now, anything that looks like this, CCSS, ELA literacy, and then the 4W meaning writing, the W means writing, 4th grade, and it's B and C. That is what you're working on in step 6, 7, and 8, because you're writing your reason and your explanation and your examples. So you, at the end of this, are giving me evidence that you can do this. That's what I'm grading you on. How well can you do this? So you are looking at provide reasons that are supported by facts and details. You're doing that in your example 1, 2, and 3. You are also linking the opinion and reasons using words and phrases. Those are your transition phrases. For example, it's saying over here, for instance, in order, in addition. So all of these transition words right here help you meet this standard. These right here, these green boxes up here that you wrote full sentences for, are showing me that you can do 4.1. 4.1c is showing me your transitions. So, these are what I'm grading you on. How well are you doing against those standards? Can you do this? Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that you were very clear that I am looking at the standards and that is how I'm scoring you. Alright, so now we are down here and we have our lovely examples, which you can see in your Reason 2 paragraph have been kind of rough drafted over. And we are going to now get them transitioning from here to there. And again, you need to pick some transition phrases. Now, it gets kind of boring, I'm going to warn you, if you use the same ones you used before. So kind of mix it up, play with it a little bit. Try to keep the reader's interest, because it's never fun to have somebody go over something again and again and again, using the same words over and over and over. It gets rather boring. So please, don't bore your reader. You're trying to change their mind, not bore them to death. So again, if you are giving transitions from one thought to the next, from one example to the next, mix it up. Use some different transitions. But they still need to make sense in what you're writing. Alright, so again, here are some of the transition words. There are others, and I probably, when I do a mini lesson on transitions, we will get a bunch of transitions, and you can also use those probably on an anchor chart, which is fine. But for now, I have given you some ones to pick from, but you can certainly go on the internet and research other transition phrases. There's many. I just gave you some of the more common ones that you could possibly use, which is fine. But if you want to go out there and be all that, I recommend do it. Go out there and research some transition phrases. Get some cool ones out there. Throw them in there. Perfect. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to do my first example of a transition phrase. Now, the first example, I want to use this one right here. The first example I want to show. The first example I want to show is, and then I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. These may not show up because they're kind of tiny boxes, and some of these transition phrases are a little bit long, but if you notice, it doesn't matter. So if you read it, there are many toppings you can add to ice cream. The first example I want to show is candy, is a wonderful topping. So that transition's okay. Again, we're not looking for the final paragraph here. This is just roughing it out, getting those transitions, and trying to get our big ideas, our big thoughts down. And then when we go into our sloppy copy, our rough drafts, and our edits and our revisions, then we can kind of tinker with it a little more to make it sound smoother. But this gives you a good idea of where you're headed. Alright, so my next transition for my second example is I'm gonna say another ooh, what did I do there? I typed in the wrong spot. Another good example. I'm gonna capitalize that because it's gonna start off the sentence. So I recommend that you capitalize these. And I'm going to leave that there. Another good example is, and then again, read your paragraph. There are many toppings you can add to ice cream. For example, the first example I want to show is candy is a wonderful topping to use. You can use candy bars like Snickers or fruity candy like Skittles. Another good example is fruit is another topping many people use. Again, not necessarily the smoothest transitions, but we can tweak it. We got a transition in there, and we can make that better when we go to do our edits and our revisions. Fruit is another topping many people use on ice cream. You can cut pieces of peaches, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. And my last one, the best example. I didn't put is in there. I didn't put any connecting verbs. You may want to do that because it just helps link everything. Connecting verbs are like is, am, are, was, were, be, being. So, is. And read that. Make sure it sounds good. I'm going to just start with, you can use pieces of fruit, peaches, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. The best example is warm toppings are another popular type. So that transition's not too bad. Not too bad. I think I will definitely want to tweak that when I get to my last paragraph. But I'm headed in the right direction, which is awesome. So you now, I want to show you something, have 2 paragraphs. And again, if you are looking at your paper, it's starting to come together. You know, you can go back here and read it. It's going. You know, that's your paper. This is what it's going to look like when it's all done. So it's starting to come together. Now, there's no paragraphs in here, but you'll figure that out as you move on. All right, so we are done with this, and we got our third paragraph, because you have the thesis done. You have your first reason paragraph, and you now have your second reason paragraph. So 3 full paragraphs done. Let's keep going. See you soon. Questions? Let me know.